Okay, so I'm not going to break any new ground in this video, but I just want to talk a little bit about where we are at currently and how do we get back to a better place in Destiny 2, of course. That's what this video is going to be about. So Ash and Iron is very mid. I do think Reclaim is a fantastic activity, and patches in general to other parts of the game, like the raid, really solid. It's about time, but clearly these things should have happened a lot sooner, as if it wasn't evident enough by how bad Ash and Iron was received, not just because of the bugs, but because of everything it was supposed to fix and actually made worse. Bungie did post a QA job on their website, so if you're interested in that or you have experience, go do that, I guess. But I think filling just the one position isn't going to be enough. I don't know if they're going to fill multiple positions with the one application open, or if it'll just be one person that they end up employing. Either way, I think it's going to take a lot more time to see the real benefits of any QA staff they hire. And the hope is that in 3 months' time, when Renegades drops, it will be a good time to play the game again. And next month, in October, we're going to have the exotic mission that is going to have an axe. First time we'll have an axe in the game, which I guess is cool. It looks cool. I mean, obviously we won't know until we get it, because, I mean, maybe it's been data mined already, but I don't know how it works. So, could be game breaking, it could just be a sword that's an axe, and it doesn't really have any good features with it. But then again, I don't know. Maybe whatever. Something that really pissed me off outside of Ash and Iron is, of course, Iron Banner, and not just Iron Banner itself, but I'm going to link Scaro's video on this because I don't want to go over the whole thing, but apparently, not 100% sure on this, but it seems possible that Bungie switched out a new Iron Banner set for reskins so that they could put the new set in Eververse, because honestly the new set, which is the Gladius set, looks really cool. It looks amazing. It looks Iron Banner-esque, and there was some concept art that did showcase it with the Iron Banner tree on it. Now, since Scaro posted his video covering that, the concept art has been taken down, so one can only assume that it is true. Of course, that is just an assumption, so if it does in fact come out that it's false, and maybe that set wasn't supposed to be for Iron Banner in the first place, then I will take back everything I'm saying here. But if it is true, this is just another example of oversaturation in the Eververse story, and even if it's not true, that has happened on multiple occasions over the past year. And of course we have gotten some really good in-game armor sets in the past, but it's really been a while since there's been an armor set that is so desirable that you see everyone trying to get the transmog for it. And certainly you have the Taken set from this season, you also have the Vex Malware set, and now you add the set from, potentially from Iron Banner, or just, a Gladiator-esque set, and that's just more fuel to the fire. There's a new ornament for Devil's Ruin, which before this controversy broke out, I was considering buying it because I have been using Devil's Ruin a ton, and now I am definitely not going to do that. The last time I spent money on the game outside of buying the Digital Deluxe Edition for the Year of Prophecy was buying the charity ornament for Sunshot. And so yeah, I am a bit of a whale, and I'm still supporting Bungie, but right now, not nearly as much as I could be, and there's a reason for that. And if you truly are upset with the way the game is right now, which I don't know how you could be happy with the game right now, I mean, everyone's different, but it just sucks. Maybe someone out there is enjoying it, and I'm sure once the patches go through this coming Tuesday, the game will be in a much better state. But, this is how you voice your displeasure. You don't play the game, you don't spend money on Eververse if you were planning on doing that anyway, and you voice your opinion wherever you can do it, so that Bungie sees how much you are in fact upset with the current state of the game. I know, again, it's not groundbreaking to say that feedback works, and when you as a community gather together and you use your voice, that the game will change. Of course it will, right? Destiny 2 is at an all-time low as far as concurrent players go, at least on Steam, and you can extrapolate that on console to be somewhere around the same type of drop in players. And so Bungie really needs to step up their game, not only in terms of making Destiny 2 a better game in general, but also in ensuring that the community is happy and has stuff to do in the game, right? And those are different things. And certainly the way the game is structured now, it's more of a week to week thing where there's an event every week. This week it's the Reclaim event that launched with the new Reclaim activity. And, again, it's something to do. Granted, it's not the best event we've had. In fact, the events have slowly gotten worse since Solstice came out. But, at least there's stuff to do right now. There's a new event to play. There's a new mode to play. There are new weapons to get from that mode. Some of them are actually pretty good. On the other hand, though, next week with Iron Banner, I think there's maybe one new or one returning weapon, and not having a completely new armor set is obviously going to turn people away from Iron Banner and just completely nip it in the bud. Nobody's gonna care. That isn't to say that, if you have one new Iron Banner set, that it's gonna completely bring Destiny back to where it was in the glory days. No, but it would help. It would get some people on, and it'd just be a show of good faith to have a really awesome armor set that isn't in the Eververse store. Show the community that you're not just putting the amazing sets in the store where you have to use real money unless you're patient enough and you log on consistently enough to buy it with Bright Dust in 3 or 4 months whenever it comes up for sale. So the updates hopefully coming out this Tuesday will make it more enjoyable to grind, all the way up to the new max, and we'll have the exotic mission next month, Renegades, which looks good, but again, looks can be deceiving and it can lead you down the wrong path. And if I'm someone who didn't buy the Year of Prophecy already, I would not recommend purchasing Renegades at this moment, because there's no guarantee that it's going to be good when it does launch. And even if it is good when it launches, there's a pretty good chance that it's going to have a ton of bugs, or things just aren't going to work the way they're intended, which is a bug technically. But again, this goes back to the QA staff and how important it is for that to get resolved. And it's not like this is a new issue either, because dating back to last year with Final Shape, it was an issue. Maybe not as big of an issue, but it has compounded and it has grown. And I just don't know how you could have allowed it to get to this point. But if Bungie is truly having money struggles, maybe it's that. Maybe they're hoping they can coast by without hiring more staff, and now they're giving in because they're seeing the numbers. Whatever the case, improvements need to be made. Hopefully they are. Just have to say, going from Destiny to Borderlands wasn't as good as I thought it would be, because Randy Pitchford is very much tone deaf and not that much better, if better at all, than Bungie. At least in terms of who's up top in the company, because the elitist attitude that he has towards his game is insane. It's very similar to how Bungie treats their store, right? And how expensive it is, whereas the game itself is not worth the time investment that you put in, right? Not to say that Borderlands 4 is a bad game. I do think it is a good game, but there are little things that make it feel worse. Like if you're a console player, not having FOV sliders, that's, some people get motion sickness from that, and that's completely understandable. And again, just the attitude is just really the most disappointing thing, because you have a lot of normies, people with 9-to-5s that play your game that probably can't afford the game, at least when it first comes out. And that's fine, buy the game when you can. Don't risk not being able to buy groceries because you really want to buy Borderlands. But the point is, that shouldn't be an issue, and that's more of a societal issue than it is a game developing issue. But when you have an attitude about it, like, oh, if you're a real fan, you'd buy my game, you disenfranchise and alienate your customers and your fan base. And it's just a dumb move. You know, if you can afford the game, great. But if you can't, it doesn't make you any less of a fan. And just like if you can't afford the time commitment that Destiny 2 is asking for you right now, and you can't commit to the Eververse store the way you'd like to if you did have the money, that shouldn't make you any more or less of a fan of the game. Not saying that it is, and not insinuating that anyone at Bungie has said that, but it feels like that. If you want to get the most out of Destiny 2, you have to spend money on the ornaments. You have to spend an ungodly amount of time in the game, which in turn honestly isn't healthy for you as a player, but also the state that the game is. I just don't think it's enjoyable. To go back to the raids and mostly Desert Perpetual and how enjoyable that is now that the patches have gone through to fix a lot of the encounter issues and bugs that it was having, that's where Bungie needs to focus, because Destiny 2 has and always will be the most fun when you're playing with other people. Yes, there are times to play solo, and you should always have that option, and that's fine. But raids are the pinnacle. They have been, they always should be, and you should be rewarded for that. That's the thing now. More dungeon content needs to exist in the game, at least in the new system with the portal. Of course, we have the dungeon layers, but those are a hot mess, and I have no idea why Sunder Doctrine and Vespers Host were not included in the portal in some way, as they are the most recent dungeons to have come out. And the reason I suspect is not a good one, and it's because they want people to still go back and spend money on those dungeon keys. Sure, they came out recently, but how many people are buying those dungeon keys right now? Not that many. You can probably count on one hand how many people are doing that, because you don't get adequate power from doing those activities. Sure, Finality's Augur is really good, and Icebreaker is good as well, but the legendary weapons are now obsolete, and why would I bother when I can get as good weapons in Edge of Fate that are going to be a part of the featured system? Doesn't make sense. Slap it in Pinnacle Ops, you can do the full dungeon, and you get a Pinnacle drop for doing each encounter. That'd been great, but instead, that's not there. And that's all the yapping I have for today, because I'm just going to talk in circles, and I want to go play more Borderlands, because it's a nice little break from Destiny. But I just wanted to share my feelings on the game, where it's at right now. Kind of in a lull phase on the channel right now, and there probably won't be too much Destiny content for right now, as we wait for more stuff to come out, and other games are out. But I might be posting some content on here about those other games. Anyway, that's it. See ya.